On 10 December, we celebrate International Human Rights Day. If anything, the COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the necessity to never forget to take a human rights perspective on any of the global challenges today. The jury is still out, but I'm afraid that the pandemic will increase poverty and inequality, will further restrict access to services and to education, and will disadvantage even more those groups who are already marginalized. It might well reverse progress made towards the effective exercise of human rights. To attain the Sustainable Development Goals has not become easier in 2020. Thus, on this Human Rights Day, we should remind ourselves the promotion and protection of human rights is a central pillar of the United Nations system and our rules-based multilateral order. For the EU, it's also a founding value. Fittingly, last week, the EU adopted a new EU Action Plan on Human Rights and Democracy 2020 to 2024. It takes on board emerging challenges such as those concerning environmental degradation, the impact of climate change and digital technologies. Inevitably, all of them will affect our enjoyment of human rights, positively or negatively, depending on how far we mainstream human rights into our policies. And all of them are also cross-border challenges which require joint multilateral action. Therefore, human rights is also a key element of the EU foreign policy and external action, and we are highly engaged all around the world. Together with member states, the EU is the largest global financial contributor to human rights promotion. For the EU, one fundamental human rights objective is gender equality. It is fundamental because it concerns roughly half of the world's population. So many women with so many talents and so much to contribute to our societies and our future if they are given equal opportunities. In 2020, we should celebrate the 25 years of the Beijing World Conference on Women. Yes, we made progress since 1995, but definitely not enough. And I know because I happened to chair the UN Commission on the Status of Women in the late 90s. Globally, the EU has steadfastly supported implementation of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, and we continue to promote initiatives toward female empowerment today. In this, we cooperate with international partners, and gender equality is part of our cooperation with Japan, too. It's a great pleasure to have the opportunity to address you today on the launch event of the Women's Empowerment Principles Handbook for Japanese companies, produced thanks to the valuable collaboration of the Japanese team of the We Empower G7 program and the Global Compact Network Japan. It's a very timely event. The We Empower G7 program, promoting economic empowerment of women, was a joint action between the EU, UN Women, and the ILO since 2018, and it is coming to its end after 3 years of amazing work. One of the program's key pillars has been to encourage companies in G7 countries to adopt the Women's Empowerment Principles, defined in 2010 by UN Women and the UN Global Compact. The 7 principles cover actions ranging from establishing high-level corporate leadership for gender equality, fair treatment, well-being, safety, and health of all workers, promote education and professional development for women, and implement enterprise development and marketing practices that empower women. For companies, it's a useful framework to follow. Economic empowerment is central to women's ability to enjoy and exercise all of their human rights. As men do, women should be able to make their own choices, starting a business, making a career, investing in education and training, while also having a family and a good work-life balance. Still, in 2020, unfortunately, no country on this world is yet on track to achieve full gender equality. Regrettably, the consequences of the COVID-19 crisis are particularly devastating for women and girls. Women's jobs are nearly twice as vulnerable to being cut, and gender-based violence has increased significantly. Girls are receiving less distance education than boys because globally they have less access to internet or mobile phone technologies. Women continue to lag behind men when it comes to labor force participation, land and property ownership, and access to financial services. I know that we are seeing these issues in Europe as well as in Japan. The EU's Gender Equality Strategy 2020 to 2025 identifies women as key agents of development and change and sets out priority actions for the next 5 years to ensure that an equality perspective is included in all EU policy fields. The strategy outlines how we will fill European Commission President von der Leyen's pledge to make Europe a place that provides the same opportunities for all. On 24 November, the third action plan on gender equality was launched. It identifies women's economic empowerment as a central pillar of the EU strategy to close the gender gap globally. We want to work together with external partners towards achieving Sustainable Development Goal number 5, gender equality. EU funding targeting gender equality has increased ever since 2016, and gender equality features regularly on the agenda of all of our dialogues with partner countries. Implementing the action plan should accelerate progress on empowering women and girls and safeguard hard-won gains made during the 25 years since the adoption of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. The EU welcomed the World Trade Organization's joint declaration on trade and women's economic empowerment as a true starting point to ensure that everyone can benefit from equitable trade relations. Moreover, in the EU Aid for Trade strategy, we recognize that gender equality is not only a fundamental human right, but crucial for economic development. Here in Japan, a like-minded and strategic partner, the We Empower project was our main tool to promote this agenda in the era of womenomics. And I see real progress. Approximately 270 Japanese companies have now signed up to the Women's Empowerment Principles. Among all G7 countries, the number of signatories has almost doubled during the past 3 years. This trend should not surprise us, because evidence has shown that companies that invest in gender equality prosper and grow. There are more and more companies looking at the promotion of gender equality and women's empowerment as the right thing to do, and Japan is no different. Keidan-ren just set the target to raise the percentage of women executives to at least 30% in the next 10 years. The 30% club in Japan has also been steadily advancing their work in bringing more women into decision-making roles. Similarly, the Global Compact Network Japan has committed to promote gender equality in its 10-year action plan starting in 2021. It is in this dynamic context that I find the launching of this Women's Empowerment Principles Handbook for Japanese companies enormously relevant. We are extremely grateful to UN Women, the ILO, and Global Compact Network Japan for the good job done in the framework of the We Empower Japan project, and I wish success to this persuasive endeavor of promoting the women's empowerment principles in the private sector. Finally, let me thank all participants who joined us today. I wish you a very successful event, and I look forward to our future collaboration. Thank you very much.